Hello team, and welcome back to another educational video with Defined by Dom. So today I want to cover kind of gut health and hormones, because I know a lot of women struggle with feeling bloated, feeling 6 months pregnant even though they're not, waking up bloated, not being able to fit into the clothes because they just feel super uncomfortable. So today I want to kind of discuss the gut health, hormones, and how it all interlinks together. So feeling bloated and being bloated and looking bloated is not normal. And there is a big difference between feeling full from food and feeling bloated. There is a significant difference, and it's about understanding that, okay? Bloating is uncomfortable, it's painful sometimes, whereas feeling full from food is just a nice feeling. Like, yes, your tummy might expand a little bit because obviously you've had food, but it's not uncomfortable unless you overate. And bloating isn't just about food and eating too much, it's about your gut health and your hormones and how they impact it as well. First of all, let's normalize this, because a lot of women, and it's something that I see amongst most women, will experience bloating. And it's one of the first symptoms that I see in women with hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, women who are very stressed or living chronic stress, fight or flight, women who have irregular periods, who have really bad PMS symptoms, and those women who have dieted for years as well. And it's not random, okay? It's not, there is a pattern to it, it's not random, should I say. By being bloated, your body is basically trying to tell you something, that there is something underlying in there. And a lot of women will just get diagnosed with IBS, and I hate that term. IBS is such an umbrella term for gut problems, whether that is a leaky gut, which is intestinal permeability, whether it's dysbiosis, whether it's SIBO, whether it's Candida. It is a term, okay? And unless you explore it further, you're not going to know exactly what is going on in there. A lot of people think, when they think of the gut, just digestion. That's not it. Your gut is also linked to your cortisol, which is your stress hormones, estrogen balance, thyroid conversion, blood sugar, and inflammation. So let's break all of this down now. Let's look at estrogen and the gut. Your gut contains something called estrobolome, and that is a collection of bacteria that help metabolize and eliminate estrogen from the gut. So if your gut bacteria are imbalanced, instead of eliminate the estrogen, you will just reabsorb it, and then you'll become estrogen dominant and you'll have PMS symptoms. You'll probably hold weight around your midsection, you'll be bloated, you'll hold water retention, and you'll get all these nasty symptoms. So naturally women obviously bloat before the period, but if it's more so than a normal female would, like it's quite painful and significant, then that is more than likely the reason why. Now, when you are chronically stressed, your blood flow is diverted from your digestion and your stomach acid becomes lower. Your motility will slow down and the food won't break down properly within the gut. And what happens then? Well, undigested food will ferment. And what does fermentation cause? Gas and bloating. So as a result of that, if you're constantly in fight or flight, your body will never digest food properly. So it will be constantly fermenting within your gut and you'll feel bloated and gassy constantly. This is why I always say stress is a #1 cause of bloating. And this is when we see women who overtrain, undereat, have poor sleep and emotional stress. They tend to be the more bloated ones. Now let's look at thyroid and slow motility, because most thyroid patients, should I say, do have slower motility. And that's because thyroid hormones regulate your gut motility. Now, what that means is how fast your food passes through the digestive tract, or how slow, should I say. So if your thyroid function is lower, the transit time will also be lower. And slower the time will mean that constipation is higher and fermentation is higher. And what does fermentation mean? As I said before, more gas and more bloating. So if you are one of those people who struggles to go to the toilet every day, which we all should go at least once a day, if you feel heavy after meals, if you have to push when you go to the toilet, and if you feel very full very quick, it can actually be a thyroid problem. Now let's talk about years of dieting, because this is huge. And in the modern world that we live in and the cultures that we've lived in, you know, being on a diet and being super skinny was, you know, this amazing thing, and it was so popular, but it's had a knock-on effect on females now that they're getting older, because years of low-calorie diets, low-fat diets, high sweeteners, protein bars, meal replacements, and constant restrictions have damaged the gut diversity in a lot of people. And when your gut bacteria lack diversity, they struggle to break down certain foods. So now all of a sudden, broccoli makes you bloated, oats make you bloated, beans make you bloated. They shouldn't, but they do. And it's not because these foods are bad, it's just because your gut isn't resilient and is unable to break down these foods properly. The 5 main common causes of bloating that I see is low stomach acid, slow motility, estrogen dominance, chronic stress, and poor gut diversity. And sometimes even SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and I see that quite a lot in women with thyroid problems. Now, on that topic, I think I have SIBO myself. I've been in excruciating pain after certain foods, and it's normally kind of around your belly button area, and it's been so bad, and then I've been burping a lot, getting a lot of gas. So I'm currently, my test has actually arrived this morning, woohoo, get to test whether it is that, and if it is, then obviously I'm going to have to treat it, but it is very common. And funnily enough, a lot of women will run and go get an intolerance test done. Don't waste your money. An intolerance test will tell you you're intolerant to things, but why are you intolerant to things? There's clearly gut issues underlying, right? So what, you're not going to eat those food for the rest of your life? If almost all of them come back in red, you're going to be very restricted, or are you going to fix the root cause and what is actually causing you to be intolerant to these food? And it's not that you're intolerant, your gut just needs the support. Right, so now that we've talked through all that, let's talk about what you should implement and what you should do to feel better and help with the bloating. First things first, regulating your nervous system to bring down the cortisol and stress, because you can definitely not out supplement stress. Just because you're taking ashwagandha, just because you're taking magnesium, doesn't mean your nervous system is going to be normal. So before you start a meal, I want you to take 5 deep belly breaths. Okay, we need to make sure that you're in a safe parasympathetic state when you're eating. We don't want you to be in a stress state when you're eating because you're not going to digest the food properly. I want you to chew your food, like 30 to 40 chews, to make sure that we are creating the enzymes that break down the food through the saliva, and that your food is nice and mushy before it goes down through your digestive tract. Eat slowly, eat at the dinner table, don't scroll because you're not paying attention to that you're actually eating. Now, the other thing we want to do is support your stomach acid. If you have low stomach acid, it will look like undigested food in your stool, burping after meals, and feeling full very quickly. So simple things without adding supplements, because I don't want to mention supplements on here because everybody's going to go and buy these things. Try not to drink 10 minutes before your food and during your food, okay? Because all it's going to do is your food's going to be floating around in water. Also, the other thing you can do is have some apple cider vinegar before a meal to aid digestion and increase the stomach acid, and chew your food properly. And this is what I keep repeating. It's so simple, but it's so important. Now, the other thing we need to do is get our bowels moving. Okay, like I said before, we need to be going at least once a day, and not just after a coffee. It needs to naturally just come to you. So make sure you're eating fibre, going on daily walks, add magnesium in, and hydrate yourself properly. Because if you are not going to the toilet every day, what happens is the toxins just recirculate within your body. Obviously, when you go to the toilet, you are excreting everything that's toxic out of your system. So now we need to look at thyroid conversion. So if you are on levothyroxine, we need to make sure that you check your T3 levels, especially if you are bloated, okay? I want you to do these things. Check your T3 levels, check your iron, your selenium, your zinc, because T4 to T3 conversion happens within the gut and the liver. And if your gut is inflamed and it's not happy, obviously conversion is going to suffer, right? And the final one that I've already kind of touched on is stop demonizing your food. The solution to it is not removing every single food, restricting it, and not being able to eat it for the rest of your life. The solution is to fix your gut. And on that note, you won't heal a gut in 7 days, and you won't heal a gut by cutting out carbs either, because that's something that I see very often. A gut protocol takes time and it's person dependent. So if you've ever had a gut protocol from a practitioner without having your gut tested, I wouldn't even bother, because you need to see what's going on. Everybody's got different issues. Everyone's got different bacteria that needs supporting. So my advice would be get a gut test done. If you need help with that, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to point you in the right direction of where to go. And you want a GI 360. That's going to give you everything that we need to know. And what I want you to take away from this is bloated versus fat gain, because being bloated is not fat gain. Yes, you are going to be heavier on the scales naturally because you're bloated and you're gassy and you're holding water retention and inflammation, but that is not fat gain. If your scales jump up 1.5 kilos in the space of a day, and you know you've ate your normal food, how would you have gained 1.5 kilos of fat? You know it's inflammation. Myself, you can see my beautiful swollen face right now. It looks like I've gained about 10 kilos. I have actually gained 4 kilos in the space of 4 weeks from inflammation. Since this gut issue has been going on, this is how I know something's not right. And it's not fat, because I've been eating the same foods, the same things that I not do, the same things that I normally do, and I can just see the inflammation in myself. So you need to have a self-check and check in with yourself and compare what you was like before, what have you been doing, and be honest with yourself. Now, just a final note for those who do have Hashimoto's, bloating with yourselves will be far more common. And that is because you are more prone to a leaky gut, you are more prone to SIBO, your motility will be slower, and your inflammation is going to be higher. This doesn't mean you're broken, it just means that you need to fix this first. So if you're struggling with bloating, don't ignore it. Don't accept your GP saying it's just IBS and get on with it, because it isn't, and you're going to struggle with IBS for the rest of your life when you can actually do something about it. Listen to your body, it's telling you something. And for those of you who don't know, and I should have done this in the beginning, my name's Dom. I'm a nurse and a functional practitioner, and I got my Hashimoto's into remission and currently working my way through a mycotoxin protocol and now potentially a gut protocol. So I'm here helping ladies like yourself who struggle with this. I get it, I've been there, I've walked that path. So if you want more information on what I do, you can visit my website, you can follow my Instagram, follow the journey, and obviously learn quite a lot from it. And if you look in the links below, I've linked my website, I've linked my coaching, and I've linked my 3 free thyroid educational platform as well. But I'll see you next week.